Hey, Donald Miller here. So it's November 3rd, and here we go again. Got another interest rate hike. And it does affect the electrical trade, okay? The how the economy does affects the trades dramatically. Some more than the others, depending on what area of the trade you're in. And if you've been in it long enough, you know when the ebbs and flows are coming and going. So you understand when things get tightening up. But the how well, if you haven't been in the trades longer than 6 years, you haven't seen some hard times. Like there was some hard times about 6 years ago. Um, but I state this because when you get into some rough times, there's things that can benefit you if you do. All right. And apprentices, and again, a lot of times we're talking about apprentices because we're trying to help them get to the next level and get to the next step and get that raise and get promoted. And if now this is all non-union talk here because the union has their own thing going on, but if you're not in the union, it's up to you. Like you have to play a role in your apprenticeship, but also your career as if you're in the electrical trade. Okay, you have to play a major role. If you're in the union, they kind of do it for you, and you just kind of go with the flow. If you're non-union, you have to create your own. You have to keep on top of it. Let's put it that way. Because if not, in the on the non-union side, there's lifelong apprentices. There's guys that just they don't get any better because they don't fix the things that are keeping them underpaid. So they'll make excuses all day long why they're underpaid, but really they were never taught the fundamentals to become valuable in the trade. And the union does teach that, okay? The union is not a free ride. Like there is some mystical beliefs about the union on the non-union side. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a hard road. It's a beneficial road, but it's not an easy road. You still have to follow an apprenticeship and learn a trade, and you still have to gear yourself, your lifestyle that the trade accepts. Okay. So, and I get into this because, when apprentices are having problems, the worst thing you can do is have problems in a bad economy because it will drop you lower down on the totem pole to entry level if you keep on having problems. Okay, you need to make sure, especially if you're an apprentice, that you show up to work 10 minutes early. You don't have to start working, but show up to work 10 minutes early and be bright-eyed. Okay, do not stay up until midnight gaming. I don't care what you think. Okay, you have to understand what it looks like on the job from senior mechanics. If you want to pull a senior mechanic aside and be like, hey, how do I look in the morning? And if he's honest with you, he'll tell you. Okay, but 9 times out of 10, when I'm pulling apprentices aside and why they're late, and you have a conversation with them, they don't have the correct habits at nighttime. They don't. And 9 times out of 10, even on my comments, if you look at the comments on previous videos, it's usually someone in their 20s and they have bad habits and they might have an attitude and they say something snappy. But it's never the senior mechanics snapping back. There are 9 times out of 10 they're agreeing with me, because to become a senior mechanic, you really have to work out all these bugs in your lifestyle. Senior mechanics know what it takes to get up early, be on site, and be ready to put in an 8-hour day, and a good 8-hour day. Like when you start getting into some of these mechanical rates, they require you to give it your all and have the best energy level. All right. And that's the whole point of apprenticing, is to get to that level. Obviously, we all have bad weeks. Sometimes we have bad months. There's been plenty of months in my trade where I showed up on time, but I was burning the candle at both ends. Okay. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but the goal is to have correct energy, like to be awake and aware, not just to be hyper. Then that's what coffee will do to you. If you're tired, you drink some coffee, it might wake you up, but you're not really 100% there. The goal is that you eat correctly, you rest correctly, so you can be 100% in the morning. And it's for your own benefit, not for the company. When you're an apprentice, you're doing that to learn as quickly as possible to get to the next level. All right. So it's for your own benefit. All right. Don't think of it as, well, and that's some of these apprentices, they're not getting this. They're showing up late, they're living a lifestyle that makes them tired all the time. They're hurting themselves. Okay. On the non-union side, you can be an apprentice as long as you want. So if you want to make nothing for 5 years, you can make nothing for 5 years. I've seen guys take 10 years to become a residential mechanic, and I've seen guys take 8 months, 9 months to get there. Okay. Maybe a little bit longer than 8 or 9 months, but you get my point. When slow times happen, okay, or disruptions in the market, like interest rate hikes will affect real estate affects construction. Just that's how it goes. Got apprentices that were paid good money when the economy is good. All right. When a slow time happens, if they get fired and they have to go find another job, that same position could be paying less. You know, a $30 an hour position could go down to 20. A $20 hour position might go down to 15. During times when the economy starts shrinking, so does pay. So it's beneficial to the apprentices not to have bad habits. And again, stay motivated. The more motivated you are and the more wide awake you are on the job site, the more likely you'll stay around. All right. The ones that have bad habits, they're up on the phone with their girl, they're gaming, they're going out at night, all these bad habits. Your eyes and your mannerisms show more than what you say. Okay. It doesn't matter if you tell everyone you're okay. A good senior mechanic or a good employer is going to be able to size you up based on your actions, how you hold your tools, how you're walking, what your completion rates are. Are you fulfilling your obligations? Are you missing your obligations? And if you're not worth an investment, because that's what apprentices are, you're not paid a mechanical rate because you cannot produce mechanical quality. So that's why you're underpaid. You're underpaid because you're an investment so a company has to then teach you the correct way to do things, and then they might get a return on investment. But initially the company has to invest in you. And by investing in you, they pay you a little, they pay you enough to keep moving, but they're really investing in your future. And they're hoping that you'll show up every day on time and you'll start becoming a functioning member of that company. And then that's when raises come. All right. So I don't know if you knew that or not. Some apprentices don't have a clue how it works. It's Thursday. God bless. Enjoy yourself out there.